welcome to Binging with Badness, the only podcast presented in a 4x3 format to preserve the integrity of Zack Snyder's creative vision. My name is Mitchell McIntyre.
And I'm Vanessa Vogel.
And we've come to the end of the road. Get it? Because it's a racing movie?
Yeah.
Or it used to be. We are at the final film, the final stop.
The most recent film.
The most recent film.
Unless you're listening to this after Fast F9 comes out, in which case we'll catch up.
We'll get there. We are at Hobbs and Shaw. We are at the final installment of the current Fast and Furious franchise. That was fun to say. Mm-hmm. And I can honestly say in the 9 weeks we've been doing this, mm-hmm. I've become a fan of this series.
I know. It's growing on me. Unlike Zack Snyder, who can go fuck himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just true. Fight me, internet.
It's been like, it started off kind of shaky. It was just like a movie that wasn't really my speed. Mm-hmm. Get it? Speed? Because it's a racing movie.
This is my podcast now. I'm taking it away from you.
I'm not even trying. These are just coming to me.
Okay, sure.
That's not as good as you think it is. It's once this kicked into just being an over the top, action spy. This one's a superhero film.
Yeah, this is a superhero film. To recap, this started off with Dom stealing containers of Panasonic DVD, TV...
VHS TVs.
Yeah, VHS. They weren't even DVD players. They were VHS players.
Yeah.
To finance his underground street racing shenanigan. Mm-hmm. And now
Idris Elba plays a guy who has been bionically engineered to become a superhuman.
And we're fighting a secret organization that runs the media and, like...
complete with, like, evil voiceover from Inspector Gadget.
Yep. And wants a deadly virus that could wipe out all of humanity in, like, 3 days.
Great movie to watch during a pandemic.
Well, no, we saved it.
We did save it. Boy, did we.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Sorry. Let's get to it. In case you don't know what we're talking about, we are talking about The Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, or as we're going to call it, just like anybody else does, Hobbs and Shaw.
Why would they do that, Cutes? Why would they put that on the label?
So you know it's a Fast and Furious movie.
But it's not a Fast and Furious movie.
It is.
Okay, like, they use the characters and all, but it's a spin-off at best.
Yeah, it's a spin-off, but it's presented by Fast and Furious.
I'm just saying, you don't say JAG presents NCIS. You say, this is NCIS.
When you have as big a series as The Fast and the Furious, you want any connection.
Okay.
So, like, would you go see a movie called Hobbs and Shaw? No, it's silly.
Maybe it's
but if they're like,
in it, and
that's true. Actually, good point. But it helps people come in who go, I like Fast and the Furious 6. There's nothing else to watch. Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Why not?
All right.
So it is a 2019 American action comedy, superhero, spy, thriller film. Mm-hmm. It really, they have a Q moment.
What do you mean?
You know, in the James Bond movies, when he goes to Q, when he gets all his little gadgets, we have that with the Russian mobster.
Oh yeah. Well, no, she robs Russian mobsters or whatever.
It is a spin-off of the Fast and Furious franchise, set only a couple of months after the events of Fate of the Furious.
I see.
In case you wonder where we are on the timeline, this movie stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jason "The Rock" Statham, Idris "The Rock" Elba, Vanessa "The Rock" Kirby, Isa Gonzalez, Cliff Curtis, and Helen Mirren.
Oh, Helen the Rock Mirren.
Helen the Rock Mirren. If anybody deserves to be The Rock, it's Helen Mirren.
I was supposed to say, Helen Mirren could play Batman, and it would still be the right choice, wouldn't it?
What an odd... Like, she fits.
Yeah.
I really like her in these movies.
Yeah, me too.
What's Helen Mirren doing in a Fast and Furious? She must just be doing it for fun.
Because we asked her nicely, and she said, yeah, why not? She's only in, like, 2 or 3 scenes. And then we get to go on our damn way.
It's funny because every time you see her, she must have just went like, hey, it must have been like a shot in the dark. Like, hey, Helen Mirren, excuse me, Miss Helen Mirren, do you want to be in our Fast and the Furious movie? And she must have just been like, fuck it, that sounds fun. She's got nothing to prove to anybody.
That's true, it's Helen Mirren.
So
they were just like, who are we gonna get to play Jason Statham's mom?
Magdalena Shaw.
Like Magdalena Shaw. Who the hell could we possibly get? And someone in the back went, Helen Mirren! And they're just like, ah! And then they proved him right.
And then here we are. This movie is directed by, and I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, David Leitch, or Lech. Leitch.
Is it not Leitch?
Leitch or Lech? I apologize. You guys know by now, I suck at pronunciation. Like, things I haven't heard, I have a really hard time with.
Well, yeah, that's just how language works.
Yeah.
Because written language is stupid.
So you might not know the name, but you have definitely seen the movies, because this guy directed, along with Chad Stahelski, the first John Wick movie.
Yeah!
He directed the movie Atomic Blonde. He directed the movie Deadpool 2.
Oh.
And, of course, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
So that's 2 movies that I like.
And that explains a cameo in this movie.
Does it?
Oh, well, Deadpool?
Well, he's not Deadpool.
He's basically Deadpool.
He's always that. Like, if you take Detective Pikachu, that's basically a Deadpool as stars as Detective Pikachu. Like,
yeah. That's
just how Ryan Reynolds operates.
I was gonna say, who could we be talking about? So yeah, this is, like I said, it's there's a moment, this is not a racing film. It's so far removed. It doesn't even try. It's a spy film. But there is a moment late in the movie where they do like a typical Fast and Furious thing. And like my heart just went like, "Aw, we're still here." So we will get to that. But first, we will get to the rest of the movie.
This is your home. You're gonna get one Samoan ass whoopee.
I'm Black Superman.
Here comes a kryptonite.
Family never gives up.
Fresh out the frying pan into the fire. Oh,
No, this is not good. We're going for a ride.
shoot at you actors like movie directors.
Welcome to my island, mother.
Either love me or leave me alone. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is...
So I should mention what this movie is actually about. The plot follows the unlikely pairing of the titular characters, Luke Hobbs and Deckard Shaw, as they team up with Shaw's sister, another fucking sibling we didn't know.
Retcon as many Shaws as we need.
Yeah. To battle a cybernetically enhanced terrorist threatening the world with a deadly virus.
It used to be about racing, guys.
As you do. So how did we get here? Let's find out. Take a deep breath. Hold your nose and close your eyes.
All right, let's go find out how the sausage gets made, guys.
Curtain up. In a big change for the series, instead of a race or a car chase, we have a motorcycle chase to prove that this ain't your grandpa's fucking Fast and Furious movie.
But it still is, because Chase.
Absolutely it is. We cut to SEAL Team 6 breaking into a warehouse and looking to steal stuff. Some blonde lady hacks into something fancy looking and tries to steal a vial out of it. Meanwhile, the guy on the motorcycle turns out to be Idris Elba. He plays Braxton. I will only call him Idris Elba.
Yes. He has a motorcycle. Like, I don't like motorcycles, but I want it.
He looks badass because it's transformative.
Yeah, it transforms based on what he needs. It also just appears whenever he needs it, like a goddamn game mechanic. And then, like, he doesn't even have to hit anything. It just appears.
He's like the horse in Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah!
He'd just be like, I need some horse!
Yeah, like, this bike is fucking sentient. I love it.
Yeah. So Idris Elba, who conveniently describes himself as the bad guy.
Duh.
He literally, like, shows up, and they're like, who are you? And he goes, bad guy. And he starts punching people. Thanks, Idris.
Cool.
You're lucky you're so fucking cool. Like, Idris Elba does a lot of really bad movies.
Does it? Well,
Yeah, like if you look up his like filmography, you'll look at a movie and you're just like, Idris Elba's in this? But he's so effortlessly cool
he is. He's very
that
cool.
you just like, you forgive him. So he takes out 7 highly trained soldiers single-handedly. Every punch is super powered. He dents a truck. He like breaks open a door with his bare hands. And she's also like he's also super accurate. He's got these little like something in his vision. It's basically a HUD.
Yeah.
And he's got like snap targeting, and he just takes people out.
And it has the same like percentages that it does in Fallout, where it gives you the likelihood.
VATS.
Yeah, he has VATS, guys. Like it shows like the likelihood of it's gonna hit or they're gonna hit you. Like that's a VAT. The man's got a Pip-Boy in his brain. Is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, basically. So he's coming for that blonde lady we saw earlier, who has this vial, and she's panicking, and the only thing she can think of is to inject herself with whatever's in the vial. Not what I would have gone with.
Well, it was already preloaded into the machine, right?
Yeah.
Like, after fight, and she drove the truck through a door for reasons I can only kind of guess at. She was just like, oh shit, I gotta get the case. And instead of grabbing the whole suitcase...
She just injected herself with a deadly virus.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
I suppose that's more convenient.
Gonna be one of those movies, is it?
Okay, we need a clock anyway.
So Idris Elba starts to come in and she's like, I'm here, but she's gone already because she's just that damn good.
Yes.
And he picks up a walkie-talkie from the dead soldiers. And he's like, we've been betrayed. She has the virus and she's left us.
Which is weird because I'm pretty sure Idris Elba doesn't sound like anyone on that team.
No, exactly. Idris Elba has a very, like, unique voice.
Wouldn't you just be like, was that Idris Elba?
Is that Dean Cain?
Like, you're very close with the people on that team. Wouldn't you go, that isn't Tom?
Yeah. So his bad guys like swarm in, and he's like, we got to get that back. He's like, we'll get it back because who's gonna stop me? Cut 2.
The people who are going to stop him.
Hobbs and Shaw. They are, it's a split screen, and it shows them both getting ready for their day. And they both get ready for their day exactly how you'd think. The Rock, like, the Rock gets ready the way The Rock does, and he gets up and he drinks fucking eggs, and he gets ready for the gym and that kind of stuff. And Shaw gets up the way you imagine Jason Statham to. He gets up in a very nice house.
Yeah. Makes himself a very nice breakfast.
Gets a nice little breakfast, goes down to the pub, has a good old time.
Basically, I think it's trying to show that they basically live the same life, but in different ways.
That's
right?
exactly what they're doing. They both get the call to arrive somewhere. One of them in London, one of them in LA. Both of them are going to some sort of club where they have to beat somebody up. Hobbs is still written like an asshole. There's only because we get
That's
a lot.
just a character trait at this point.
Yeah, you get a lot of Hobbs in this movie.
In your Hobbs and Shaw movie?
Yeah, as he is half of the film. Actually, I would say he's like 75% of the film.
Well, yeah, because Jason Statham isn't a talky man.
Once we get to the part on the island,
That's pretty much
it becomes a Hobbs movie.
It becomes less of a Hobbs movie and The Rock movie. Like,
That's true. It really does.
Like, The Rock. This is The Rock's movie starring Jason Statham.
Yeah.
And
So he's still written like an asshole, and like there's maybe 4 or 5 of these like lines throughout the where you can just tell they're just like, and this is gonna be a badass, and it never works.
I mean, it kind of works.
So he goes to the bad guy and he's like, who the hell are you? And he goes, I'm what you call an ice cold can of whoop ass. Oh!
Did The Rock write the script? Because a lot of these are just straight up wrestling references.
I was gonna say, I really wish he had said a stone cold can of whoop ass. That's just me though. Shaw gets his own line as he walks into his thing. We're not split screen anymore, but it's scene after scene. It's kind of layered. They go, who the hell are you? And he goes, I'm what you'd call a champagne problem.
Which is just cool.
Which is a much cooler line, I think. So, we fight. That's exactly what happens.
Fight.
Shaw fights with a champagne bottle, like a full bottle of champagne, and he's just beating guys unconscious with it. And eventually, at the end, he looks at it and goes, "Huh, I thought this would have broken by now." And then eventually, he does. Like, he drops it and it breaks. Meanwhile, Hobbs beats up guys with a tattoo needle.
I was about to say, with his fists.
With his fists, and straight up punts a man in the crotch like he's Randy Orton.
That man cannot have children anymore.
No. So Hobbs tortures information out of the guy using, about the super virus, using the tattoo needle. And he's like, okay, we're going to play a game called Hangman. Every time you give me an answer I don't like, well, buzz. It's like, where's the virus? He's like, I don't know. And he goes, oh, I don't like that answer. Shit like that. Shaw tortures a man to find out about black market technology, like black tech it's called, that nobody's supposed to know about, but this guy does. We don't get an answer from either of them.
Well, it's implied that they got their answers.
It
right?
is, but we don't hear it.
That's true. Well, what was it? Shaw dangles a man out a window, which is much more classy than tattooing a dude.
Yeah, so he busts the guy out the window, ties him to a rope, and like dangles him out. So his feet are on the ledge, but he's dangling backwards, almost like he's getting ready to rappel. And he's just like left there. If you could get out of that if you wanted.
I was about to say, when Shaw left, if you play your cards right, you could just fix it yourself.
Pretty much.
Just hold on to the rope and swing forward.
Yeah. So we go from that to lunch, where The Rock is hanging out with his daughter.
Which I can only assume kind of looks like an off-brand Denny's.
Yeah, it's like an IHOP.
Yeah. It's some sort of old diner-looking place.
Yeah. The Rock's daughter, or Hobbs' daughter, is a straight A student. She's very good, and he's very proud of her, and isn't just everything ducky. Until she pulls out a sociology project about the genealogy of her family. What she knows is herself, her dad, and that's it.
Yeah, it's literally a box with his name, her name, and a question mark.
And a question mark. I guess she doesn't even know who her mom is.
Yeah.
She doesn't know anything about The Rock's extended family. The Rock, her grandma, her like uncles, aunts. She knows nothing.
I always thought those assignments were... I had to do those assignments.
I did too.
And those are kind of rude, because, like, what if you're adopted? Like,
yeah, like it's fun to learn about your genealogy.
Yeah.
But
what if your family's just not worth talking about?
What if it's awkward? Yeah. Stuff happens, but it's something you do. And so the Rock explains that he did something to his family, and they don't talk. There was a falling out, and they haven't seen each other in 25 years. Gosh, something about family. Well, that's new for a Fast and Furious movie. I like that even though Dominic Toretto is not in this movie at all, they still keep the through line of family going. Family. I ain't got friends. I got family. Didn't ask. Yeah. Well, I got a lot of friends. So, apparently it's Rocky's cheat day because he gets so many goddamn pancakes.
I mean, I would too. You go to an IHOP and they say unlimited pancakes and it's your cheat day.
Have you seen The Rock's cheat meals?
Yeah, it's literally that much pancakes.
It's not a joke.
It's not. Like, they give a little tiny normal stack to her.
To his daughter, yeah.
Because that's a regular amount of food to someone. And they cart out what I can only assume is a metric ton of pancake. Like, it wiggles. Like, it's not supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be like that. I am a large, fat man. But the amount The Rock eats, and has to eat to keep up his
rockiness,
his shape. Like, the guy works out all the time. The amount he has to eat would render me in a coma.
I know.
Just to keep the calories up, to keep the work.
That's the only reason why I would work out as hard as that dude, just to eat.
Just to eat like him?
Yeah. Like, haven't you ever looked at a large sum of food and went, I wish I could eat all of it.
But I can't.
But I can't, and I've become everything I've hated.
Meanwhile, Shaw is going to go see his mom Helen Mirren, Magdalena, who for some reason is in prison.
She's retired now, and I guess retirement is prison.
Yeah, I don't know when this happened, but she's in prison.
Maybe it should always happen. Like, we don't know much outside of that little interaction with Dom.
I was gonna say, but she was not in prison when she was with Dom.
You don't know that. She seems like at the end of this interaction, she slips out of her handcuffs like, "What up, bitch?"
That's a good point.
So she could just be here. It's implied she's here on her own free will.
Yeah. So, Magdalena, chilling in prison. She likes it here. Because Shaw is like, hey, why haven't you broken out yet? Don't look at me like that. We all know you can. And if you need, like, I'll help you. And she's like, 3 meals a day. Nobody bugs you. Basically like being retired. I kind of dig it.
Yeah, she still has her makeup. She still has all her jewelry. They're in the very last credit scene. Her cell is decked out like an apartment.
Yeah.
Like, she's literally on vacation here.
Yep. And so they talk, and then we go to Deckard's sister, hitherto unknown from anybody. Mm-hmm. And they talk about how, oh, you guys used to play around together all the time, and you used to love, hanging out together, and now you just don't. You used to do all these, like, grifts and stuff, and it used to be so cute, and you just never talk together anymore. Why don't you talk together anymore? And he's just like, she don't talk to me, I don't talk to her. I go do Deckard stuff, and then she does whatever she does. Mm-hmm. She's just like, one day, I hope, because, she turns up the mom guilt. Mm-hmm. It's like, one day I hope to walk out of this place and see you two together.
And he's like, don't give me that, Mom. And she turns it on harder. She's like,
yeah, exactly.
Because his only weakness is mom tears, and she knows it.
Meanwhile, back at the restaurant, Ryan Reynolds shows up.
Hey, what up?
Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Detective Pikachu. How's it holding?
What the fuck are you doing here? This is CIA agent Locke. Apparently, Locke and Rock are partners, not even really friends. They've done missions together,
but they seem to enjoy each other's company, so I guess they're kind of friends. And
I believe fully that they did not give Ryan Reynolds any lines. They told him what the mission is to get across, and for him to ad-lib the whole thing, because boy, does he.
Yeah, it sounds very Ryan Reynolds, doesn't it?
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds plays Ryan Reynolds. And he's like, okay, so you and I are after the same thing. And Rock is like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. He goes, there's this virus, right? Basically turns your insides to soup. We need to get it. And, like, the Rock is like, my daughter is right here. She can't be hearing this. And she's like, don't worry, Dad. I've heard way worse. And he goes, fucking where? He goes, Game of Thrones. I watched it over at Jenny's house. He goes, you're not allowed to see her anymore. And so there's like a lot of side tangent about Game of Thrones. I remember when this movie came out, the ending had just happened.
Oh, so we're angry.
Yeah. So, like, I remember we were watching this in the theater.
Yeah.
And I went, somebody didn't see this coming. So he's like, hey, we're gonna work together. We're gonna get this. And The Rock is like, you're CIA. I'm DSS. We don't work together. Mm-hmm. No, you're not. You're not DSS. Last movie, you were fired. And then they were like, do you want your job back? And you said no.
That's true. He went to go be a stay-at-home dad because he can just do that, I guess.
Yeah. You are not a DSS agent. You are nothing.
You are a former DSS agent.
Yeah.
So I guess in the loyalty scheme, he's still DSS?
I guess. So they're just like, hey, we need you to do this because you're the best tracker in the world. You need to find this lady who's got the virus in her. You do that, then we'll be square. Mm-hmm. Because you're gonna work with another agent in London. And he's like, no, I work alone. No, you don't. You haven't worked alone since Fast and Furious 5.
Okay, so let's recap. He started off, and then we got Elena, right?
Yeah.
Because he was like, I only need one person.
Elena? And Riley.
Yeah, and Riley betrayed him.
Back to Elena.
Was it back to Elena? Because after that, Elena went through a window with him, right?
Yep.
But Elena was getting transferred.
And then in 8, Elena's kidnapped and a mother.
Yeah, so, well, that time before that, when she was being chucked out a window.
Yeah.
Like, That's the only time we see Elena.
I was gonna say, but the point is, like, you always, not only do you always work with, like, Elena, you work with Dom.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. You're part of the crew.
Yeah, like, you work with Dom several times. Shut up.
Who's
Anyway.
supposed to keep track of this lore? Is it us? What's happening here?
Right? So they're pulling the same thing we've heard a million times, and he's like, I work alone. He's like, well, you're working with somebody else now. He's in London. Guess who it is? No Cookie. So Deckard Shaw gets the rundown on what's going on, who the blonde lady is. The blonde lady stole the virus. And he looks at the picture and he's like really intent about it. And he's just like, And he's like, look, you get us this lady back. She's got the virus. We'll grant her immunity from all the crimes she's committed. Because according to everybody else, she betrayed her people. And
Because Idris Elba sounds like any other dude, guys.
yeah. And he's like, hey, do you, you're going to work with a partner. And he goes, great, I get to work with an American. Fucking brilliant. I'll do it, but I'm upset. So, Ryan Reynolds calls the British guy, who's Rob Delaney, by the way, he's a comedian. And they basically talk and just like, my guy's in. He goes, my guy's in too. You think they're going to work together? No. It's like... Didn't they just pull a job together? Yeah, and they almost killed half of New York.
Why are we doing this again? I don't know.
Yeah, they're just like, this is not a good idea. Do you think they'll work together? They have to. They'll love working together because it's the fate of the world. They'll do it if they have to. And it cuts to both of them looking at the camera going, no fucking way! So, did you like the scene in Fast and Furious 8 when they just snipe at each other for 10 straight minutes? I hope so, because that's the movie.
I mean, it's pretty fun.
It is fun. They're clever, but that's the movie. Like, every interaction these two have is that sniping back and forth, and they're pretty funny, and it's clever, and it's amusing. But there comes a point where you're just like, shut up, both of you.
I thought it was pretty fun.
There was for me, because like it started grating on me at Fate and the Furious.
Did it?
Yeah, because I realized the only reason these scenes are here is for comedic value, just so they can snipe at each other. So that's what happened, and it's pretty funny, it's clever, it's amusing. But it gets a little old. Anywho, they are both like, I'll never work with him, and I'll never work with him. I'm going to do things my way. Well, I'm going to do things my way. It's my way or the highway. You think you're special. There's going to be a lot of wrestling talk in this episode, in case you're wondering.
Because there's a lot of wrestling talk in this movie.
Yeah. So we go do a thing. Hobbs, or I should start with Shaw. Shaw breaks into this lady's house and starts downloading information.
Blonde lady's
house. And starts downloading information, and he immediately gets attacked by some mooks. So we have a fist fight complete with our breaking of glass.
Because we hate glass.
You thought we were done? Every movie got to break some glass.
Like, so much glass. Like, we are keeping some glass-making company in very good business.
Like, I make fun of them, but in their defense, I would do the same thing.
I mean...
If I was directing these movies,
yeah,
I love the look of people going through glass. Like, it just looks cool.
And I mean, when Shaw was throwing random mooks through glass, it was in neon, so it was real cool.
Yeah, it was very slick, right? It was dark and lit with neon.
It was lit with neon, and I gotta give you props for that. I like
neon. The movie is very well directed.
It is. It's very pretty, guys.
So he beats guys to unconsciousness. And I noticed at one point they threw a grenade in to blow the place up. And Shaw actually stops it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because he's the grenade guy.
Apparently you can just put the pin back in. I don't think that's how it works.
I don't know.
But it sounded like a digital grenade, which I don't think is a thing.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm willing to roll with it. I just thought it was weird. Just like, shouldn't you have shoved that pin back in and went No.
You think? Right? So, meanwhile, Hobbs has found Blonde Lady, who's not blonde. She's wearing a wig. And he's just like, you're going to come with me because I'm a good guy. And she's like, I don't care. I'm British and snooty. To which they have this weird little flirty fight. It's supposed to be sexual tension.
Is it?
I don't feel it.
No, because they barely have any chemistry.
Yeah, I don't feel it between our two leads here.
I feel respect, but I don't feel
chemistry. Like they're good. They're both good in their jobs, but I like the relationship between Shaw and her rather than like the romantic one between Hobbs.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have a fight, and she's very good at the fight, but she's not as good as The Rock at the fight, because nobody's good at The Rock at the fight.
I do like the part where she was just throwing random junk at him. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, she's just hauling off, just throwing stuff at him, and he's catching it, because he's The Rock.
She should have threw a car battery at him, too.
Yeah. Cut to, Idris Elba, who's getting a talking to from, a bad guy.
Yeah.
With an altered voice.
Only a supervillain would have a room specifically where there would be sound waves on the wall to show that he was talking, and that was the only purpose of this room.
Yeah, it's literally, he's got like a bad guy room.
Yeah, like, it's a talking to room. You sit the guy down, and then all you see is the sound waves of his voice, which I imagine is a lot of technical malfunctions where you see nothing but sound waves, and he's still talking and yelling at you and whatever cloaked voiceover he's using.
Yeah, it's so
needless.
Strange. Yeah,
like just call him like a normal villain.
Now we don't know, obviously, but the going rumor is that is Han.
Is it?
Yeah.
Then why would he have? Because he said he had a beef with
Hobbs.
Wouldn't he have a beef with Shaw? He killed him.
You would think,
right? Like, why would he give a damn about Hobbs?
I have no idea. Maybe because he started the thing that got Giselle killed.
Did he?
If Hobbs didn't tell them anything, they wouldn't have gone on that mission. Now, we don't know, obviously, because it hasn't been revealed yet. But that's the rumor.
Yeah,
and Han is supposed to be in F9. There could be a lot of reasons Han shows up in 9.
It could be a fucking flashback for all we know.
Yeah.
But no, like, all the people that we have pissed off up until this point has a problem with Shaw. If it's Han, he would probably want to get vengeance on Shaw.
Yeah.
After all, Owen Shaw is directly related to Giselle's death.
Who we don't see at all, by the way.
Which is weird, because it's all about family and the Shaws coming together as a family. Where the fuck is Owen? Do you guys not care about Owen as much as you think? Could we not get the actor that plays Owen?
Jason Statham's cooler. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's weird. We'll find out with the rest of you guys. So they have this conversation, and they're all like, human beings are imperfect. They must be replaced with machines. Machines make people shit like that.
Yeah.
Hobbs brings Hattie into the CIA and tries to get her to tell him about the virus, but she refuses because she can discern people's personalities like she's fucking Sherlock.
Yeah, why not? All the Shaws are fucking weird.
So Hobbs is just like, fine, I'll leave you here to stew. And she's like, cool, picking my handcuffs. Nobody should leave me alone.
I'm in a glass room. It is like all these offices and for reasons I don't entirely understand are made of glass, and there are people at desks all around here and cameras. Nobody's noticing the fact that she's picking the locks on her handcuffs.
Yeah. So not only that, she picks the locks, and then there's a guard guarding her, obviously. And she just beats him unconscious with a chair.
Yeah.
Like to the throat and everything. And meanwhile, The Rock is talking to his daughter on like FaceTime. So we see him talking to his daughter, and in the back, blonde lady going nuts with a chair. Blonde lady's name is Hattie, by the way.
It's kind of funny, though.
It is kind of funny. It's meant to be a joke, but so eventually Hobbs runs in and is like, I will stop this, and Hattie immediately gets him into a triangle choke.
Which you gotta give her respect for. Like, a lot of women in this series don't know anything,
Yeah.
even if they're ex-Mossad somehow. And like, Hattie, my girl, hey, what up, girl?
So the reason why she chose this is because if you guys don't know what a triangle choke looks like, it's where you use your legs to cut off the carotid artery in the neck. So her legs are wrapped around the Rock's face. Oh boy. She's also pointing a gun at him, and he's like, shoot me. And she's like, I will. And he's like, you won't. And she's like, I'm going to count to 3. And goes, I'll start. 1, 2. And then immediately here comes Deckard Shaw. And he's just like, get your ugly fingers off of my sister.
He's like, get her off of her. And then he's just like, what have you got with your girlfriend? Girlfriend, disgusting. That's my sister.
Yeah. So this is Hattie Shaw, Deckard's sister, which is why Deckard was so interested in taking this case. So they fight, and they're just like, Deckard's got a gun on Hobbs. Hobbs has a gun on Hattie. Hattie's got a gun on Deckard. It's this weird, like, Mexican standoff. When the cast of G.I. Joe breaks through the window.
Well, it's more, what was G.I. Joe's enemy?
Cobra?
Cobra.
Yeah. So it's Idris Elba and a bunch of guys. They rappel through the window and like break through, kicking it open, and they're just like, get her. And so they pick up Hattie and then they jump out the window.
Oh, we should mention she told everyone she's injecting the
Oh
virus.
yeah, sorry. She's just like, I am the virus. And they're just like, well, that sucks.
And then, shit hits the fan.
Yeah, so Idris Elba comes in, takes her, and gets back out. And Hobbs and Shaw run to the window, and they look down. And they're kind of like running, rappelling down the building.
The most inefficient way of doing this, but okay.
And so Hobbs is like, you think of what I'm thinking? And Shaw's like, not really. And he's like, it's now or never. And Shaw's like, I'm more of a never kind of champ. He goes, all right, ready? 3, 2, 1. And Hobbs jumps, but Shaw does not. And so Shaw's just staring at him like, nobody tells me what to do. And goes and takes the elevator. Meanwhile, Hobbs is free falling.
Well, holding onto this rope, which I can only assume has burned a hole in his hand.
Yeah, so he's jumping from the rope to like bad guy to bad guy to bad guy, knocking them out along the way. While Shaw is in the elevator, just boom, boom, boom.
He's throwing these bad guys at Shaw.
Yeah. So that's kind of funny. Hobbs then latches on to Idris Elba. And they slam down onto this like glass roof. Oh no, excuse me. Hattie cuts her and Idris Elba loose.
Yeah, no one makes a damsel in distress out of Hattie.
Yeah.
So she decides, well, doing this myself.
So they both fall onto the glass roof. And then here comes The Rock. Just like he jumps, it must be a 30-foot drop.
Yeah.
Make way for Willie! Boom! He just crushes them through the glass window, and they just both like collapse on the ground, just like fucking ow.
All 3 of these people should be paralyzed. Like,
This is not the biggest fall they'll take in this movie.
somehow.
So Shaw finally gets to the bottom and just like takes a couple guys out. And he picks up their gun, and their guns have like a biometric chip in them. They'll only fire if you're wearing like a certain glove or if you're certain like attuned to it.
Yeah. Point is, he can't fire the damn thing.
Yeah. Then Idris Elba and The Rock get into a fist fight, and it's at this moment where I realize if anybody tells you that this movie is bad, they are wrong. But Idris Elba has superpowers.
Yeah. He has a HUD. Remember, he has a Pip-Boy in his brain?
Yeah, he's super strong. Remember how earlier in the series I was like, does Hobbs have super strength? Canonically, I think he has super strength.
Yeah, according to his HUD, he was about to hit him with 1,500 pounds per pressure.
Yeah, as far as we know, that's legit. That can be a thing now.
Yeah, so if he can really summon that much pounds of pressure, like, he is legitimately a wonder of the world. Like,
yeah. So it turns out Shaw knows who Braxton is. They work together, and in fact, Shaw killed him. Shot him twice in the chest, once in the head. Which is weird, because he's still standing and talking and shit.
Yeah. Shouldn't be doing that.
So they're just like, that's weird. Let's blow up a car. So a car blows up to distract Idris Elba. And then, like, Shaw gets in the car, and he drives to pick up his sister. But Hobbs is like, I'm getting in the car, too. And Shaw's like, no, you're not just her. He goes, me too. And they both take out their guns, and it's a big, like, dick-waving contest.
And even Hattie just groans like, come on.
Yeah. So we get ourselves a chase. Jason Statham in a souped-up car. 2 guys on a motorcycle with Idris Elba. Mm-hmm. Everybody kind of packs into the car. Also, Idris Elba's cybernetic enhancements even let him drive better.
Yeah, somehow. I don't know how this works, but...
Yeah. So, this is a Deus Ex movie. Like, do you guys play Deus Ex Human Revolution?
I didn't play that game. What's up?
Oh, okay. So, you know Cyberpunk 2077?
Unfortunately,
That,
yes.
but good.
Oh. So there's no glitches.
Oh, didn't say that. At one point, Shaw and Elba slide under passing trucks.
Because the trucks in this universe are so high off the ground,
Very
you can drive under them. Trucks in real life are not that high, guys.
This is the apex of that. Remember that thing in the first movie? Like, the biggest stunt we had was them driving under the truck.
Yeah.
This is as big as it gets. Like, this is the apex.
I think they put this scene in the trailer, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he drives under the truck. Like, he slides between 2 moving trucks. And in the tiny enclosed gap, Idris Elba slides the motorcycle sideways.
Yeah.
And, like, the motorcycle compacts into, like, a box for him to slide through, and then uncompacts and becomes a bike again in the, like, microseconds it takes to translate between those 2 things. Even though if he just waited for those trucks to pass, he could have just driven right through.
Yeah, so, like, all that goes down. It looks cool. And eventually, they give Idris Elba the slip by forcing him to drive through a bus. No. Not around a bus. Through a bus.
A double-decker bus.
They drive through a bus. So Idris Elba drives through a bus.
A decker bus.
A double-decker bus. And, like, slams to the ground. He's like, damn it! And then he calls the news media. And he's like, Hobbs and Shaw are both bad guys. Make it known.
Yeah, he goes to, like, this big... I can only assume supervillain lair, where he has a bunch of people sitting around behind computers.
Yeah.
And they're just like, the usual, sir, of the slander. And, like, he's just like, no, I want to artisanally make this story.
I want more slander.
Yeah, like, he wants super slander, and he crafts the story. And, like, in the time it takes for him to get off this ground, get away from this crime scene, and go to wherever this super villain lair is.
Yeah.
And clean himself up, by the way.
Yeah.
Hobbs and Shaw, meanwhile, are just standing in the corner going, doo-doo-doo. Like, because it appears instantaneously on, like, the news.
It's everywhere.
So, like, they must have been standing on that corner for a real long time.
Yeah, it's been a whole thing.
But he walks into that supervillain lair and be all like, you're gonna make this, and you're gonna make the news say this, and that. Like, it looks like it should be in the X-Men, guys.
It really does. So he talks to a creepy voice guy, and creepy voice guy is like, I have a history with Hobbs. And Idris is like, yep, want him dead. Gotcha. He goes, no, I don't want him dead. I want him turned. I want them brought to the cause. And Elba's like, I know these guys. They're not going to do that. And he's just like, do it or else I'll kill you. And he's like, okie dokie.
Well, gonna try.
So Hobbs and Shaw talk to the scientist who made the virus. And he says, like, you guys got 42 hours before she's dead. Here's what we do. There's 2 options. First option is to kill her and burn the body.
Real good.
To ash.
Yes.
And Shaw's like, well, what's plan B? Plan B is there is a machine in Russia.
Yeah.
Is it Chernobyl?
No, it's the bad guy headquarters.
Right,
It's
okay. So there's a machine in that...
What's that thing called? Ace Echelon? Or
Third Echelon?
Third Echelon.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. I just saw the movie and I don't remember the name of the guy. Ateon?
Ateon?
I'm just gonna
Bad
call
guy
them
layer.
Third Echelon. In the Third Echelon layer.
Okay, I thought so. So there's a machine there that can rewrite the virus, but it can also extract the virus.
Yeah.
Problem is, it's so heavily armed that going there is murder anyway. And so they're like, cool, we stay here, we die, or we go there and we die.
Why would you invent something like this? I thought I was going to be able to distribute vaccines, through the air. And you believe that?
Well, you didn't. So they're just like, cool, we're going to die. Who's up for a pub? So they go to Jason Statham's house.
I guess it's
Bunker?
a Bond level bunker. Like there's cars and there's booze and there's all sorts of fun clothing. It's out of a Bond movie.
Yeah. So he's walking through and he's got like a ton of cars. And Rock is like, overcompensating for something? And Statham goes, if anything, I'm undercompensating.
Men.
He goes to a thing and you see him in a little Mini Cooper. And he's just like, yeah, had that for a job in Italy. Huh? Do you get that?
Is that one of the movies? Like, that was the...
That is a movie, the remake of The Italian Job.
Oh, I thought you were referencing a previous Fast and Furious
No,
movie.
it is a shout out to the movie The Italian Job, starring Jason Statham.
Is it?
Yeah, it was all about driving Mini Coopers. It was like it was a heist. I think it was a heist film. Nice little shout out to The Italian Job. So here's the idea. They call it the Mick Jagger, which is this ploy that Hattie and Deckard used to run when they were kids. Mm-hmm. One person takes all the heat, and then the two guys slip in. Mm-hmm. So what they're going to do is give Hattie up, essentially.
Yes.
They're going to give her to the bad guys, and the bad guys are going to take us right to the machine.
I mean, it's better than breaking in and trying to figure out where it is. Why not just take her to
Yeah,
it?
pretty much. So we have to get there. So what they do is they get fake names and identities so they can fly commercial to remain kind of under wraps.
Yeah.
So they get the fake names, and he gets Hobbs arrested, basically.
He gives him a bad ID.
Yeah, he gives him a bad ID, and he trips up TSA. Specifically because the name on the ID was Michael Oxbig. Or Mike. Or Oxmall, excuse me. Mike Oxmall. Mike Oxmall. And so they all shout it through the the airport, and he's just like, I go by Michael. Basically they try to ditch him. Mm-hmm. So Hattie and Shaw are sitting on the plane, and they're just like, hey, we're gonna get through this. And she's like, I should probably die. Like, let's face it, this plan sucks, and we're gonna get shot, and then this plan sucks.
Yeah, like, this is gonna end with us dead and probably the planet. So let's go get hammered somewhere, huh?
And she's like, no, we're gonna get through this because we're Shaws, damn it. And Shaws always get the job done and stuff like that.
Sure.
Meanwhile, Michael Oxmall shows back up, and he's like, hey, how's it going? Hi, my name's Michael. How's it going? How's it going? You are an asshole. And he goes, how did you get through that so quickly? And he goes, I have this weird superpower. People actually like me.
Yeah.
So they fly. It gets to be nighttime, and they have another like little sniping contest where they just like make fun of each other. Mm-hmm. And at this point, like they start talking about the fact. I think Shaw's right in this one. This mission requires stealth.
Yeah.
You are the size of an elephant. How are you gonna stealth shit?
That's true.
So they start yapping at each other, and eventually it turns to get physical when the air marshal stands up and turns around them, tells them to quiet down. And we spend a lot of time with this air marshal.
Too much, really.
Too much. It's like 5 minutes, because the air marshal is played by an uncredited Kevin Hart.
Why is he here?
Because The Rock and Kevin Hart are friends.
Really?
Yes.
He knows Kevin Hart's not funny, right? Does he know that?
Well, they have a thing. Like, they did a movie together. They're in Jumanji together.
Okay, maybe Kevin Hart's a little funny.
Yeah. So they have a thing. And basically, like, his name is Dinkley, because it sounds like Dink, and he's short. Mm-hmm. And it's like 5 minutes of fucking around with Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I tuned out.
Hi, Kevin. Can we help you? And, like, the whole thing is like, oh, I think you guys need a third guy. You guys need, like, a third squatty. That could be me. And they're just like, no, three is too much. He goes, no, guys, you don't understand. We can be a team. We can be us, all three of us. And I'm just like, please.
And he's like, please get me out of this hellhole that is this
Somebody
plane.
crash the plane. And he does say, like, you know, my job sucks. And here I am sitting in a tin can full of farts. And he says, like, my job is super boring. It is like 1 or 2 terrorists and a lot of recycled ass.
Which is pretty funny.
Which is pretty funny.
Okay, maybe Kevin Hart's a lot funnier than I give him credit for.
But he's just like, okay, hi Kevin, bye Kevin.
Okay, bye.
So Idris Elba is torturing the scientist. He got the scientist, and he's like, you're gonna fix this. You're gonna make the virus do what I say. And he's like, no. And Idris Elba's like, flamethrower. And he's just like, okay.
I mean, if you point a flamethrower at me, I'm gonna say yeah, too.
I'm gonna do a lot of shit for a flamethrower. So Hobbs and Shaw are in Russia now. And they're looking up a friend of Shaw's who happens to be like a hitman, an assassin, a Russian mobster.
The way he described her is that she steals from Russian mobsters.
Sure.
So she's a thief.
So Hobbs is like, hey, how's it going? And Shaw's like, hey, how's it going? And she's like, hey, how's it going? And Shaw and this woman kiss.
Yeah.
Like, real hardcore.
And The Rock is like, I wish I didn't see that. And Hattie is just like, me too. Ew.
Yeah. Hattie's like, I didn't see that coming. And Hobbs like, I wish I didn't see that.
Like, what's her name? The girl that plays Hattie. Mm-hmm. Really plays sibling fairly well.
It's very well done.
Yeah. Like, she's disgusted by the idea that anyone could have interest in her brother.
Yeah. Like I said, I much prefer the sibling relationship between Shaw and Shaw than the romantic one between Hobbs and Lady Shaw. And the romantic one between Hobbs and male Shaw. Because let's face it, this is a bromance.
It's such a bromance.
It's one of those, like, fan fiction, like, enemies to lovers kind of thing. That's happened. Somebody check out fanfiction.net.
I mean, duh, right?
Yeah. So we have a straight up scene where Q gives James Bond his, like, his stuff.
His magic stuff that's going to get him out of this jam.
They get, like, bombs. They get, like, Kevlar. They do this whole thing.
She has a pool table that's also a touchscreen.
Yeah, that's cool.
I didn't hear a damn thing she said because I was looking at this pool table that was also a touchscreen computer.
And so they have, like, these are your flight suits and parachutes, and we're just like, what the fuck are we planning? So they have this whole thing set up where this lady, this assassin lady, is going to give Hattie to Idris Elba. Just like, I did what you asked. And then they're going to skydive in.
And Idris Elba was like, if this is a trap, I will kill you. And she was just like, bring it, bitch.
You wish. So, yeah, it happens exactly how you expect it to happen. So Hobbs and Shaw then... They're in, like, a jet plane. They're in a jet.
Yeah.
And then they both, like, hit the ejection seat for each other.
Yeah, that Russian mobster assassin lady had access to jets. Don't ask how.
And then they both go, I assume leaving the jet to crash.
I'm assuming that there was some sort of autopilot jet?
I have no idea, but there's no driver in that anymore.
Yeah, it's just flying.
So we do a skydiving scene when, after you've driven cars out of a plane, a bit of a step down.
It's a bit of a step down. This is true.
So they land in the place, punch a couple guys. They set a bomb that's going to blow in 45 minutes if they don't get out. And they're just going to take the whole thing down. Somehow this one bomb is going to blow up this whole place. That's not how bombs work.
Magic.
I'm with it. So they bring Hattie in and they, like, strap her down to a table and they're just like, we're going to change the virus inside you.
I think they're going to extract it, change it, and then unleash it.
Yeah. And she's like, oh no.
Whatever will I do?
Nuh-uh.
Is this the part where she kicks the shit out of them, or is this?
That's
later?
in a second. So they do the thing where they walk through this building where both doors, it's 2 hallways side by each.
Yeah, with a glass pane in the middle.
You know what it is?
What?
It's the turnstile from Tenet.
Oh yeah, it's the turnstile, except there's only doors on each.
Yeah,
side.
that's literally what it looks. It looks exactly like the turnstile from Tenet. They both have to unlock the door at the same time. or else neither door will open. And they need like an eye.
A retinal scan.
A retinal scan. And so they each take a door, and they'll just like, I'm gonna take this door. He goes, no, I will take that door. That's the door I want. Mm-hmm. All right, sure. So they switch doors, and then like Shaw checks it, and he's got like 8 guys behind there. And he's just like, you know what? On second thought, I'm gonna take that door. He goes, no, why? A lot of bad guys behind that door? I'm gonna take this one. You're a moron. So they enter the thing. Shaw's got like 8 guys. Hobbs has 1 big guy.
Yeah, this guy's like 17 feet tall. I don't know where we found him.
Hobbs kicks the shit out of him immediately. It's barely a fight scene.
Yeah, he walks up to him, has a wrench, punches him in the throat.
He no longer has a wrench.
Yeah.
Shaw then fights 7 guys at once because he's Jason Statham. God damn it.
Yeah, and it's fun. Why not?
There's a lot of physical comedy in this movie. Mm-hmm. A lot of violent comedy. Where, like, people, like, are getting, hit in kind of, like, amusing ways. Mm-hmm. So once they both get through the thing, Hobbs takes the guy and puts him against the retinal scanner, and it beeps, and he's green. Mm-hmm. Shaw takes his guy and bumps him against the retinal scanner, and it doesn't go.
It says access denied.
So he gets another guy, and he slams him against the wall, and it doesn't go. So he takes another guy and slams him against the wall, and it doesn't go. And he does this 8 times until he gets to the last guy, and eventually it goes.
And there's, like, a pile of bodies next to the scanner.
Yeah. And they're like, we did it. They open the door, and army!
Honestly, it's hilarious to me. Like,
yeah.
I liked it.
So they open the door, and they're like, we did it. Fuck. So they are immediately rendered unconscious.
Because they immediately forget all their training, and 2 dudes sneak up behind them and smack him in the head.
Yeah. At this point, Idris Elba leaves Hattie because he's going to take care of these guys. Mm-hmm. So Hattie kicks the shit out of the guys checking her. Mm-hmm. And then he goes up to the scientist and he's just like, hey, we're going to do science stuff to me. And he's like, okie dokie.
Like, for a split second there, because you see the scientist had actually agreed to do this.
Yeah.
Like, he was going to stop her. No, he cuts open a window to get her out.
Yeah.
Like,
no, so he's on our side. And he's got a great moment before he dies.
Oh, by the way, she keeps a lockpick in her mouth. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
sure. So she unlocks, and then she's, like, sneaking away. They grab the change of fire, and then they sneak away. Meanwhile, Hobbs and Shaw are connected. They're chained to a chair.
with cords wrapped around their necks.
Yes, there's cords wrapped around their necks, and the chairs are, like, electrified. There are cars behind them, like, hooked up to the battery, and that's how Idris Elba is going to torture them. Mm-hmm. So at one scene, he's just like, yeah, and then you guys are going to get shocked. I think you got maybe 4 good shocks in you, boys. And Hobbs is like, yeah, you think 4? I think we can do 5. And he goes, really? And he shocks them. Mm-hmm. And Shaw is just like, you had to open your big mouth. And Hobbs goes, yeah, it seemed like a cool thing to say. I like that because it's the first time ever he's ever had the recognition. We're like, oh, fuck that one up. Oh, boy. So Elba tries to get them on their side. Tries to get them to turn. Because the voice told him to.
Join the dark side. And
it's like, we're superheroes. Like, look at all the stuff I can do. I'm the Black Superman. I can crush and kill. Machines are so much better than people. Humans are imperfect. You know
the usual spiel when it comes to anything vaguely cyberpunk related.
Yeah. So Hattie's like sneaking up on them, and only Hobbs can see her. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you know what? I agree. We should join the dark side. And Shaw's like, fucking what? And Hobbs like, yeah. You know what? You know what your problem is? You're a lot like Mick Jagger. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking? Oh, Mick Jagger. Yeah, that's me. What you talking about?
And then they talk about how they're going to rip out of these chairs and beat the shits out of all the guys around them.
Yeah.
And it's actually pretty cool because they argue about which guy they're going to punch first. They both want to punch the same guy.
He goes, no, that's my guy. He goes, what do you mean that's your guy? You can't call dibs on people.
That's my punch guy. No, that's my drop kick guy. Take that guy. No, that guy's too big.
So they squabble for a little bit, and then they're just like, all right, ready? And murder. So they break out of their chains, or both of them, not just The Rock this time.
Well, The Rock breaks out, and Jason Statham just slips out. Like, he just rolls a sleight of hand check, and he rolls out of it.
This would be a great video game.
It would.
This would be a great, like, co-op video game. One guy's big and bulky and smash him, and the other guy's quick and like, they're begging for, like, AAA Hobbs and Shaw game. It reminds me of me and a friend of mine used to play a game called Army of Two.
Yeah.
Which is it's this. You're both mercenaries and you go shoot stuff.
Okay.
And it's a lot of fun to play these kinds of games all the way through with a friend. So yeah, we're just, this would be great. So
Just
they
don't let the people who develop Cyberpunk do it.
I know. They break out of the chains, punch, kick, punch, kick.
Hattie tries to shoot Idris Elba, but that's when we learn the things are, like, genetically locked to people.
Hattie can't use the guns if she doesn't have a glove or something.
Yeah, and then she steals one.
And then she steals one, as you do. The scientist takes the flamethrower that we were torturing him with earlier and just unloads on people.
Yeah, he straight up sets Idris Elba on fire.
To quote Seth Rollins, "Burn it down!"
Yeah, he was gonna burn this whole fucker down, and, like, power to him.
To get out of here, The Rock gets into a big armored truck because The Rock can't be in a movie without a big armored truck.
I mean, yeah. Has he ever been seen in anything but?
Jason Statham gets in this weird, like, kind of buggy thing. Him and Hattie get in the car, and away they drive. And they're in this, like, factory kind of thing.
Yeah.
So at some point, they drive up a conveyor belt. This is Shaw and Hattie.
Yeah.
Drive up a conveyor belt to get away from the bad guys. Like, ramp off of it, slam through, like, an office building. More broken glass.
Yep.
And Elba's just like, well, that's annoying. Drones! Here come the drones.
At some point, he put himself out of the fire. Don't know when that happened, but
Yeah,
he did.
that happens. So he jumps through a building, through another building. The layout's kind of strange. I don't really understand it.
It's an abandoned factory turned secret headquarters.
Yeah.
Which, based on Fast and Furious, everyone should just assume abandoned factories are secret
headquarters, exactly. So at one point, he drives out of that building and, like, with a gun, just starts shooting at the drone.
Yeah. I'm not 1,000% sure what's happening when I was watching this, but I liked it.
It's a bit hard to keep track of this fight scene.
Look, it looks like we're winning, so yay.
Yeah.
I looked at it the same way I look at most sports. It looks like we're winning.
Yay.
Yay.
So Shaw's car is beat to shit. So we need to get Hattie into Hobbs's. So Hobbs does this thing where he does a donut and just, like, uses the tail of the car and just knocks cars to death. So they do a thing where they call it swap and paint, where they drive super close to each other, and Hattie jumps into the car. And, like, she jumps up into the driver's seat and lands straddled on The Rock.
Yeah.
And they have this moment where they, like, look longingly into each other's eyes. And there's supposed to be that sexual tension we talked about. But it's not there.
It's really not, guys. Like, there's too much, honest to God, respect. Like, it's not, like, lust. It's just, hey, you're big and strong and cool. And he's like, you're pretty respectable, too. Like, they're too nice to each other to actually have, like, strong romantic feelings for each other.
So here's a question I have for the people in our audience who are attracted to men.
Okay.
Is The Rock attractive?
Yes.
Like, in the same way, would you watch him in a romantic comedy?
Depends on who the girl is, I guess. But, like,
because, like,
he's an action star.
I see him as an action star, and I see him as too big. Like, he's a hulking man.
That's true.
But like,
he's a good-looking man.
When you used to watch these old, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger action films, you never, like, oh god, I'm hoping Arnie gets together with the girl.
That's true. No.
So I never feel that with any of the Rock's movies. So, you know, I'm a straight guy, I think.
God, I hope so.
I was gonna, yeah, you never know.
I've been able to confirm up until, like, right now. So,
so I, like, maybe I'm just not attracted to The Rock. Like, I get that he's in shape, but, like, he's so big.
He's a huge man. That's why
terrifying.
It would take a equally, like, just, you'd need someone to be able to balance him. Like, if he was in a romantic comedy where the girl was, you know, a short, skinny little goth kid.
Yeah.
Of course it's not going to work, you know?
Yeah, I don't see...
You need someone his size for a back of letter return.
Because, like, I would believe her and Jason Statham if the roles were reversed.
Well, yeah.
I would believe that, but I don't believe her and The Rock.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of The Rock. I just don't buy The Rock as a romantic lead. That being said, please don't hurt me. You were my favorite wrestler as a kid. I just want to start my 3-part apology by first saying I really admire you.
Well, he wouldn't hurt me. I'm a woman. I liked Ric Flair.
Woo. So, yeah, no, I was just wondering, because, like, I see this and I don't get it.
No, but he is a handsome man, but he just doesn't emote, I am attracted to you.
Yeah.
Like, I think she's putting out the vibe. If she's...
Yeah, you know what? Maybe that's it.
I think she's putting out the vibe, but I don't think he's putting out the vibe. Maybe it's a fault of, like, the directing. Maybe there's something lacking in the script. But, like, he's not putting out the vibe.
Something's not...
Like, he's looking at her like a coworker.
The Rock in this movie might as well be asexual.
Yeah. I think that's the issue. Like, I think he is a handsome-looking man. Yeah. But, like, he's not putting out the vibes, you know?
Okay, interesting. So yeah, what do you guys think? Like, is it me? Do you guys see The Rock as a credible romantic lead? Let me know what you think in the comments, or hit me up on Twitter. So
if you just want to talk about how good he looks shirtless, come at me.
Hit her up on Twitter. See, now, The Rock just isn't my type. My type's coming up in a little bit.
I'm not in this movie.
When we go to Samoa, I mean, I'm not gay, but $10 is $10. I'm very sorry. Anyway, so Shaw's car is beat to shit, like I said, and Elba shoots it to the point where it catches fire, and he's like, "Gonna need a ride." So he ramps off of some rubble and lands the car onto Hobbs's truck, and like he gets out, like wipes himself off, and then
we should predicate it by saying this truck is a flatbed. It's like basically a platform.
It's a very big truck. So he lands on it, and then the car falls off, and he's like, "I did it. I'm British."
There's so much CGI here. You're just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, see, this is the point. Like, I made a rally against CGI in the early films. Yeah. Because back then, like, you're just racing, and the racing was cooler when it's real. Here, this movie's dripping in CGI because it has to.
Yeah, there's no way around it. But I feel like when that car got pushed off that flatbed, it was real bad. You know, like you could almost see the green screen.
Yeah, it's not great. So Idris Elba jumps on the truck, and we have like a 2-on-1 fight. The Rock and Sock connection, and Idris Elba. They fight. Eventually, they get rid of Idris Elba. They give him the slip, but the change-em machine is broken. The virus innator.
Oh, we should also mention that the bomb that was supposed to go off in 45 minutes.
Yeah, that went off.
Totally just annihilated everything. So
blew up the whole building from that one spot. Whatever.
Yeah, and Secret Guy headquarters is still around. I guess it wasn't in that building.
I guess it wasn't there?
Yeah. I don't know where the fuck it is, but he's got a teleporter that can go there.
Yeah. So, a lot of explosions. It's your typical fight scene. It's your typical action scene, and it was a good one. Yeah. So, they broke the machine, and Hattie is like, we are fucked. That's it. Like, this thing doesn't work. I'm dead. I'm dead. I have to be dead.
Yeah, she doesn't want to start a pandemic, and since we're in the middle of a pandemic,
we appreciate it.
We thank you for your service. You know,
and Deckard's like, I refuse that. There is a way out of this. I just don't know what it is.
I feel like when this movie came out, we were all on Deckard's side, right?
Yes.
But now that we're in the middle of a pandemic and we're watching this, we're like, Deckard, are you out of your goddamn mind?
Well, he doesn't want his sister to die.
That's
true.
I get it. But the pandemic gestures wildly to the outside.
So Deckard's like, I'm gonna think of a way out of it. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna think of a way. And Hobbs is like, I got a way. I know a mechanic who can fix basically everything, but I am not happy about it. And they're like, why? He goes, I have to go to the one place I never wanted to go back. Home.
That's a real line, guys.
Yeah.
it's super cheesy, but
So, we are going to Samoa.
if this is real actual footage of Samoa is very beautiful.
I love Polynesian culture. I love, like, Hawaii and Samoa and Maori. Like, it's...
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like,
I love the look. I love the... I love the language. The style. It's so cool.
and they know how to eat, guys.
Boy, do they. So, the rest of this movie, it's a different movie now. Because...
We are here on Samoa for the rest of the movie.
That's true. And Jason Statham is so out of place. Because The Rock is a big Samoan man.
Yeah.
Everybody else, Samoans. They're big Samoan people. Jason Statham is a very pale British man in a suit. And you're just like, what are you doing here? So this is where, like, this really becomes The Rock's movie, like we said.
Yeah, it was like in the first part. You can see that it's Fast and Furious.
Yeah, it's a Hobbs and Shaw.
and
like,
you can see that The Rock had some grip on it, and now it's The Rock's movie.
Now it's The Rock's movie. So he goes, like, The Rock goes up to this house, and he's super nervous. And he's just like, ah. And Shaw's just like, take your time. It's only my sister's life we're talking about. And Hobbs is like, okay, I'm gonna knock on the door. And Shaw looks to Hattie and goes, 50 quid, says he punches him in the face.
And then they do, and she's like, "You're on." And then they like cross their arms and lean against the car.
At the same time?
And then you're like, "Yeah, these two are related."
They're really good. So he opens the door. This guy named Jonas opens the door. And he's like, hey. And he goes, hey, you know what's got to happen now, don't you? And The Rock is like, I do. And Jonas punches him in the face.
Which means one of the Shaws is getting 50 quid.
Yeah. So Jonas is pissed because The Rock and Jason Statham's face are everywhere. They're wanted men.
Yes.
Again.
At this point, like,
Yeah. And so they're just like, not only are you wanted, you're bringing all your trouble here. We haven't seen you in 25 years. And you bring this shit to our door. So he brings him inside and he's just like, look, you know, we can't deal with you. We don't want anything to do with you. And The Rock is like, you have to. This is for the fate of the world. And Jonas is like, I really don't care.
Yeah.
And they're about to start fighting when Jonas gets a sandal to the face. A punk. And it's Mama.
yeah.
Mama ain't want no violence on her house.
Especially between her sons.
And she's like, yeah, we were not going to have this. And Luke? And he's like, hi, Mom.
I'm home. Hey, Mama. And she's like, my baby's home.
And yeah, she's just like, oh, welcome home. And Jonas is like, he left us. He left us to rot. And she's like, I don't care. He's family. We will give him the food off our table and the shirts off our backs if it helps him out. We are family.
Because if I've learned anything about Asian culture, is that when you have a matriarch, you respect her, or she will beat you with a shoe.
So we explain what's going on. And Hobbs is apologetic. He's like, I didn't want to bring this to your door. And Mom is just like, it's okay. We'll make do with this because that's who we are. All right. So we get a rundown. Basically, Hobbs's father was a dick.
Was a con man.
He was a con man. He was a con man and a thief. Not only did he steal cars, he would steal whatever, but mostly cars. It's a chop shop. And so, like, he went away for a little bit, and then he came back when they were a little bit older and started using them in his con jobs. Basically trying to rope him into this, like, crime family.
Which actually explains why he's really good at finding Dom.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And Hobbs is, he hit a point where he couldn't abide by that anymore. So he had him arrested.
Yeah, because he was running jobs that could get him and his brothers killed.
Yeah.
And, like, he was like, well, it's either them or you, and I've spent most of my life with them, and you're using me as basically a fall guy.
Yeah.
So
Hobbs has his father arrested and leaves.
Yeah.
Because he put him to shame, basically.
I mean, once you have your father arrested in front of everyone, you pretty much can't go back home.
Yeah. But his brother felt that was like abandoning them. Which you can make the argument both ways. But now this place has gone from chop shop to a custom shop.
Yeah. Hobbs Custom Cars.
Yeah. And as he goes through the cars, that one's going to London. That one went to Rio. That one went to New York. Mm-hmm. Fast and Furious 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. I like it. So they're like, okay. So now we have people. Now we need guns. Mm-hmm. Let's go get the guns. And he opens up the big cabinet, and it's just like, it's spears and clubs and stuff. And he's
Mama, where's the weapons?
Yeah. Mama, where are all our guns? Mama doesn't want guns. She don't need guns. Guns are bad. Guns bring violence.
And they've killed too many of her sons.
Yeah.
And to her credit, all right.
Yeah. So she's like, no, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this the old school, old fashioned way. Mm-hmm. So everybody gets a club.
And Deckard is on the side like, we're boned.
Yeah.
We're boned. We're 7 different kinds of boned. Oh my god, we are so boned.
It was just like, yeah, I didn't want any guns in this house. They've killed too many of our friends and family. Mm. And Shaw's like, and right you are, ma'am. We're screwed.
Like, hands up to Shaw, despite the fact that he killed Han. Like, at least he respects Mama Hobbs.
Yeah. So that sucks.
So the island will provide.
Yeah. So basically, the idea is to set up a no man's land on the other side of the island. There's supposed to be a storm coming when this whole thing goes down. Mm-hmm. So they build a no man's land. Worst case scenario, that's our last stand. Mm-hmm. We go there and we just fight till we can't no more. Mm-hmm. And so Shaw is like, hey, we're all dead, right? Like, we don't have a plan anymore, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, don't worry. The island will provide. And Shaw's just like, what the fuck does that mean?
It means Jonah's going to work on fixing the blood machine.
So, yeah, we have a montage where Jonah's fixed the blood machine. Mm-hmm. And everybody's just setting stuff up. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We don't really see what it is, but there's some hacking going on. There's some computer use going on. There's some...
we're turning old drive shafts into fucking metal clubs and shit. So
we're taking stuff, putting other stuff. Now
we're burying stuff in the dirt.
Yeah. One so this it's all getting ready. The Samoans are going to war.
Yep.
So they have a moment where they're just like, The Rock apologizes to his brother for leaving them high and dry, and promises that that's not, if we survive this, that they want to really create a more familial relationship. Shaw and Hattie repaired their relationship because they too have a very contentious kind of thing. Mm-hmm. They believe that Deckard left them to go do spy shit, and even though he was set up as a bad guy,
as previously stated in a different movie, where he was like the all-star go-to guy for the army, or military, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they had him take the fall.
Yeah, basically. So all the relationships are repaired. Let's do this. Idris Elba and the bad guys show up, and The Rock and family, they all drive up to the house and they line up. And here comes The Rock. He's in traditional Samoan garb. Mm-hmm. The whole crew is.
Yeah.
And he starts speaking, I imagine, in Samoan. Mm-hmm. Basically saying, we're going to kick your ass.
It's a long-winded way of saying, I'm going to kick your ass. Yeah.
Yeah. And they do this, Samoan haka, which is always cool.
And always terrifying.
Yeah. A car blows up, and Shaw starts driving around them, spewing fire out of this car, creating a ring of fire.
Yes. We should also mention, at this point, Jonah has successfully fixed the blood machine.
Yeah, the blood machine's fixed. It's going to take 30 minutes to extract the blood. They have 34 minutes left.
Before Hattie dies.
She doesn't look any sicker.
Well, I think the idea is that's when the casing breaks open.
Oh, that does make sense. And then she becomes infected for real.
And then that's it. Pandemic time.
You're right. That makes more sense. So this ring of fire starts, and they're just like, "Yeah, are you ready?" And then the two armies collide. That's one of my favorite moments in any movie.
It's true.
In Black Panther.
Yeah. When the monsters and the army
in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Where Black Panther's standing there and he's like, keep on bay, keep on bay, keep on bay.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
And like in, what was it? Was it Lord of the Rings where the two armies clash?
Yeah.
And you can see the...
Wakanda forever, God! I love that moment in any movie. So Idris Elba's just like, cool, this is dumb. Everybody shoot. And so they go to shoot, and all the weapons jam at once.
Because they're digital.
Because they're digital. And we've hacked them to the point that, I don't know why, but all of them don't work anymore.
Yeah, well, Jonah was fixing the blood machine. Hattie had to take her mind off impending death.
Yeah.
And so she hacked the glove she lifted from whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And decided, you know what? If we can't have weapons, neither can you.
Yeah. So the armies collide. This is my favorite part of the movie. Because it immediately starts with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
The big dog.
Uh-huh.
The main event. The head of the table. The reason SmackDown is where it is right now. You should be thankful for Roman Reigns. He hits the world's biggest spear.
Yeah.
Just boom!
He does what he does best, which is not talking.
He collides with the motherfucker. And we just go nuts. It is all like clubs and like hand-to-hand fighting.
We should mention that when filming the scene of, like, there is a scene where The Rock and him throw spears in the opposite direction, back-to-back throw spears at each other. That Roman actually knocked out the camera guy when he threw his club.
He threw him a little bit too hard.
He threw it a little too hard and a little too close to the camera guy and actually knocked the camera guy out. He's very sorry, but it's very funny.
I did. We didn't have to do it again. Mis apologies. And so at one point, like, a guy jumps up and The Rock clubs him in the middle of the air. Idris Elba takes his motorcycle and throws it at somebody.
Yeah, it's great. Like, it's just carnage. But
even Hattie's beating motherfuckers to death with a wrench.
Yeah, she decided, because Hattie has enough of this shit, she is an international super spy, and she will not be a damsel.
She's in the middle of a very painful process, and she, like, takes up a wrench and just starts wailing on motherfuckers. The Rock and Roman Reigns have their, like, back-to-back, I call it a lethal weapon moment, where they both throw the club at each other, like you said.
Yeah.
At one point, Roman hits another spear. Like, he hits what's called a Samoan drop, which is where you get somebody in a fireman's carry, and then just, like, drop them backwards. And he runs up, spears a motherfucker, and then he stands up and does his, like, war cry.
Yeah.
He spears him, he stands up, and he goes, ooh-ah!
Uncle Ooh-ah, everybody.
Roman Reigns is probably my favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
So every time I see him just, like, dropping people, love it. I'd hit that.
As would many people, honestly.
I'm not surprised.
He probably is starting to float into the David Bowie situation. Everyone's attracted to David Bowie.
I was gonna say
everyone's attracted to Roman Reigns.
To quote Nate Diaz, I'm not surprised, motherfucker. So this whole scene is just a chaotic street fight. It's awesome.
It is great. Like, there are metal weapons, there's fire, there is just absolute batshit insanity. Yeah.
So, Idris Elba eventually gets his hands on Hattie, who spits in his face. Yeah. And he's like, that's annoying. Into the helicopter with you. Shaw sees it, and he's like, Hobbs, execute Plan Delta. So Shaw is in a tow truck. I was confused for a second until I realized what they were doing. So Hobbs runs, he jumps on the back of the tow truck, and puts a shirt on for some reason.
Yeah, he was wearing... I don't know what he was wearing.
I was gonna say, he was shirtless and he had his, like, Samoan pants on.
I don't want to call it a skirt, but, like, I don't know.
It almost looks like a kilt.
Yeah, he was wearing a kilt, and then suddenly he's wearing pants and a shirt.
Yeah, and then, like, he throws a shirt on. Okie dokie. So they chase after this helicopter. Because in the back of this tow truck is a big old hook. So The Rock takes it and he throws it at the helicopter and he, like, chains it, trying to keep the helicopter from taking off. So basically we're towing a helicopter. So
there's that ridiculous shit that I'm here for.
Yeah. Problem is, helicopter's stronger than tow truck. So as it starts to lift, the truck starts to lift off its back wheels. They no longer have control. So in comes another couple of Samoans. It's Roman Reigns and, like, his cousin. And so they have two chains as well. They hook the chains onto Shaw's car, basically creating a little extra weight.
Yeah.
And then when that stops working, we get another car. And we drop some chains onto the car. So we have a daisy chain of, like, car, Shaw's car, helicopter.
Because we needed enough weight to slow this thing down.
Yeah.
Really.
So we're just driving to the point where, like, we're kind of in trouble. And because Samoa is an island.
Yeah.
We're coming to the end of the island. So we drive into that no man's land.
Oh, yeah. By the way, there's a bunch of black cars chasing us.
Yeah, there's a couple of cars chasing us. And so we're just like, we need more power. So the guy at the front flicks a switch. And what's that switch? It's the NOS switch, baby.
Because when in doubt, NOS it out. NOS is here to save your day. And they all NOS this thing to high holy hell.
They use the extra power. That was the moment where I'm just like, yeah. Because they do the run-through of the car. That's in every Fast and Furious movie. The run-through of the car where the NOS hits. Hell yeah.
Because even in Samoa, they can get their hands on NOS.
Yeah, right? Unfortunately, the weapons are now back online. Sure. So it starts shooting missiles.
Because it wouldn't be a Fast and Furious movie if we didn't shoot some missiles.
So we drive into that no man's land, and I wasn't sure what this was. Turns out it's a bunch of, like, landmines or rockets.
Yeah, remember how they were bearing stuff earlier? They were bearing oil drums full of rockets.
Yeah, so the rockets are shooting upwards, trying to hit the helicopter.
And the car's chasing them, and to their credit, it's very successful about the car chasing them.
Yeah. At one point, the chain of the tow truck breaks. So the rock grabs one end of the chain and one end of the tow truck and is now like the link of the chain with his just nothing but his just bare goddamn arms.
Because he's Superman. He is Superman and Dom is Batman.
Yeah.
And I guess, well, we had Wonder Woman. Literally Wonder Woman, guys.
Yeah. And he just like, he keeps the helicopter in check. So inside, Hattie is just kicking the shit out of people because she's like, if this doesn't work, we're going down swinging. And it causes enough of an issue to where the helicopter falls down the cliff and crashes.
Yeah.
Bringing the truck with them. The only truck still connected at this point is Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
And so they both go down this cliff, crashing into the rocks below. And it's not a huge fall, but it's a big ass fall. And it's basically like they're in like a waterfall kind of thing.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a set from Jurassic Park, if
Yeah.
I have to be honest. Like, it's a very strange location they decided to film in. Because it's about the size of a living room.
Yeah.
And there's water everywhere because it's like a small, tiny waterfall or whatever. And there's wreckage everywhere. And it looks weird.
Yeah. So everybody's still alive.
Somehow.
There are 4 minutes left on the virus rejiginator.
In 4 minutes, Hattie's going to be alive.
Yes. So Elba, there's one other guy still alive. He hands him a gun and goes, in 4 minutes, shoot her to death. And he's like, okie dokie. Meanwhile, Hobbs, Shaw, and Idris Elba are just like, so it's come to this. And we have ourselves one last fight. It's in the rain. There's thunder and lightning and slow motion.
Possibly too much slow motion? What do you think?
I think so too. There is a point where like it goes slow-mo and like the lightning goes and there's like a weird flashing light for some reason.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this fight scene. I mean, generally positive, but like,
Yeah.
I think they overuse the slow-mo mechanic.
They're trying to make it more epic. It's raining and there's lightning and there's slow-mo and there's man.
Just keep punching each other. The epicness will come later.
At one point, Idris Elba takes like the missile launcher of the helicopter and swings it like a club.
Yeah, because remember, he's Black Superman.
Yeah. So, like, they get knocked around. And eventually, like, Hobbs and Shaw are just like, this sucks and I hate it. And they're just like, yeah, but, you know, I just realized. There's two of us and one of them. You just realized there's two of you?
Yeah.
And they're just like, we have to work together. I will gladly take a punch so you can give a punch. And they have, like, this little bro-up moment. And so they finally, Scott learned the power of teamwork. And so they start finally working as a team. The timer hits 0, so the guy goes to shoot Hattie, but Hattie's a badass, and chokes him out Ronda Rousey style.
Yeah.
So we have this last little fight, and to finally beat Idris Elba, The Rock runs around him, grabs him by the waist, and hits a German suplex.
Onto some rocks.
Yeah, his head collides with some rocks, and his neck kind of like breaks, basically.
If this guy wasn't 100% machine, he should be dead.
He'd be dead. And so they're like, you might have all the technology in the world, but we have heart. You may believe in machines, but I believe in people. And no machine will ever beat that. And like we flash back to like where all the rest of his family are, and they beat up the guys. They've got like the rest of them surrounded, and Mama's like, "You're gonna get one Samoan ass whipping."
Yeah. Here she is lording over every Samoan on the island, I can only assume.
Yeah.
Or she has a huge extended family.
Yeah. So we get the evil voice, who's like, "Shut him down." And so in Idris Elba's vision, it says decommissioning in 15 seconds. And so he's just like, so that's how it is. And when the clock hits 0, he dies.
Yeah, and weirdly, like, Jason Statham decided, look, I killed you once, I'm not gonna do it again.
Yeah.
You know?
He hits 0, he falls backwards, he's dead, and he falls into the surf below. And then a voice begins coming out of the helicopter. It's the evil bad guy voice. And he's like, Hobbs, do you remember me? You will, and it's gonna be a hell of a reunion. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time. So they all kind of get back together, and they're just like, let's go home. All of my everything's broken. And they're just like, and The Rock is like, thanks for being my sidekick through all this. And Statham's like, sidekick? I'll sidekick that look on your face. I'll fuck you. I'll fuck you too. Boys will be boys.
I'd like to bring up again that Shaw killed Han.
Yeah, we're over that.
We're not over it.
Quit living in the past.
Justice for Han.
Quit living in the past.
Justice for Han.
So.
Stop Asian hate.
Hashtag stop Asian hate.
But no, really. Stop Asian
Seriously, that's not a joke. We're not trying to trivialize that. Hashtag stop Asian hate. So during the credits, we get to see Magdalena meet Hattie for the first time in a very long time. Her family's all back together, just like she wanted, and they slip her a cake with a file in it.
Or C4, I think it.
It might have been C4 too.
He was just like, "Oh, that cake with a file in? Yeah, it's still baking." She's like, "File, get me C4.
Yeah.
I trained you better than that."
And they're just like family. Meanwhile, Hobbs takes his daughter to Samoa, and they finally get to meet her grandmother. And they're all welcome back home.
It looks like he hadn't told his mom that she had a granddaughter.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Grandma knew at all.
And so Grandma's just so ecstatic to meet a new member of her family.
Yeah. The bad guys are dead. The good guys survive. Everyone's happy. Curtain down.
Oh, by the way.
Or is it? Hobbs receives a call from his partner Locke, informing him that they saved the one disease, but there's another virus coming, and it's even worse. It's even worse than the Game of Thrones finale. And then they just like talk about the Game of Thrones finale for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a sequel hook or if it's just fucking around.
Yes. Well, obviously they want to do a sequel, right? Because the voice in
absolutely.
The box is just like, I'll get you next time. And like he's just like, hey, there's a second virus that's going to definitely kill us. You want to join more forces?
Yeah.
Even though you said no, but whatever.
But yeah, they talk about the Game of Thrones finale for a little bit. They talk for a bit, and then that's it. Curtain down. Or is it? There's yet another after credits scene in which Hobbs calls Shaw.
I missed this one.
Yeah, Hobbs calls Shaw, and Shaw's like, let me guess. You have to save the world, and I'm the only person who can help you. He goes, no, man, I just wanted to call and hang out. Plus, I really wanted to hear this. and you hear police sirens in the background going, whoop! Come out with your hands up! Hugh Janus! Come out with your hands up! And he goes, I'm going to kill you for this, right? He goes, it's okay, buddy. It's going to be fine. Come out with your hands up, Hugh Janus! He goes, The Rock says, he goes, you know what's going to happen now, don't you? And The Rock goes, yeah, I'm going to guess it involves a body cavity search and some rubber gloves. And he goes, nope. He stands up and he opens the door and he just gives them this, like, fight me look. They've all got, like, guns trained on him. He's like, let's do this. Curtain down for real this time.
Promise?
Promise.
We forgot to mention that Hattie got the virus out of her and has returned it to wherever the fuck it's supposed to be.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought that was implied.
Yeah.
Yeah, the timer went down, all the virus is gone. We're all good.
Yeah, she returned it to wherever she was supposed to get that virus to.
Yeah. So yeah, that is Hobbs and Shaw. The movie's just bad shit.
It's bad shit, but I love it.
It's a lot of fun. It's a movie I'm glad I saw in the theater. Mm-hmm. You don't have to see it in the theater. It's fine on the TV.
We saw it in the theater the first time, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
It's a movie I'm glad I saw. Mm-hmm. It makes a little bit more sense now that I've seen like the movies leading up to it. Mm-hmm. But you also don't have to. Like if you just want to watch this movie as a movie.
Yeah.
First of all, you can watch our reviews that we just did.
Yeah, that's true.
And we'll catch you up. But if you don't want to do that, you can just watch this movie straight up. It's on HBO Max. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I liked it. I think I would probably give it a 7.5.
That sounds right, honestly.
7.5?
Yeah.
I didn't like it as much as Fast and Furious 7.
It's no heist movie.
I liked it a little bit more than 8. I think 7.5. It's a good popcorn flick.
It's true. The sequel baited, so
Oh yeah,
that's fun.
I imagine there'll be another one. The Rock and Jason Statham have a lot of chemistry with each other.
Yeah. We still have to get justice for fucking Han there, guys.
That's coming in F9, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It better. Guys.
Han.
You guys didn't make me watch Han's death scene 7 times just so you can be all like, yeah, never mind.
Get ready for 8.
I swear to God.
But yeah, so I liked it. And here we are at the end of the series. And like I said, I can honestly say it's made me a fan.
Yeah.
They're
fun.
They're fun. They're entertaining. Even the first couple, like, they're not great. Mm-hmm. You can skip 3. Actually, please skip 3. 1 and 2 are solid. 4 is kind of boring.
Mm-hmm. Well, what you need to know in 3 is Han dies.
Yeah, 3 need to know Han and Han dies. But then you can just watch 6.
Yeah.
So, 1 and 2, I would say watch them. Like, if you're a completionist, you're already going to watch them all anyway.
Yeah.
But if you're just, like, absolutely, like, you just want to watch, like, the best ones, watch 1 for the start. Probably, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
But let's talk about, real quickly, how this series went from racing cool to spy movie.
Yeah.
Like, this has lost its mind in the best possible way.
This was the series, when I came up with this idea, this was the series I thought about. Mm-hmm. Because to watch a movie over, like, a long series of movies, you have to change, you have to alter, you have to adapt. Mm-hmm. And there's no way in hell anybody's going to watch 9 street racing films.
Nope.
There's only so much you can do. But I will watch 2 street racing films, 1 heist movie, 2 spy films, and Batman.
Uh-huh.
It keeps it up and it keeps it going. A friend of mine described this as Saints Row. Oh. And if you've ever played the Saints Row games, Saints Row 2 is Saints Row 1 without dignity. And Saints Row 3 is Saints Row 2 without dignity.
And Saints Row is just a clone.
Grand Theft Auto.
A Grand Theft Auto clone.
So, at this point, like, Fast and Furious 6 is Fast and Furious 5 without dignity. And we just keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
And I, for one, am okay with this.
It's true.
Like, I say that 7 is my favorite movie, and it is. Mm-hmm. But, like, my favorite scene is probably when all the cars fall from the sky. In
I
8.
know, right? And then you have this hurricane of cars coming
Like,
forward.
yeah, it
straight
goes
for
in
your
as like as a wave, as a flood.
It's a Power Rangers movie. We said this before. Like,
Yeah.
there they are using the powers of cords to keep Dawn stable, which is just straight up the power of the Megazord. Let's just be real here, you know?
So like, every one of these movies has something to be interested in.
Yeah,
Even the first 2, like you can just laugh at the cheesiness of it all.
yeah.
You know, there's stuff like that. The third one is just so overblown that you can like be interested, like get your buddies together and watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have a bad movie night. 3 is great for that.
Yeah, because it takes itself way too seriously, and it comes out the back end.
5 has that thing with the safe as a wrecking ball.
As a wrecking ball, and we have a heist, and guys, it's great.
Yeah. So everything's got something to watch. Are they good movies?
I mean, were you entertained?
Yeah, I was
Then
gonna
yes, it's a good movie.
It's hard to draw the line. I was entertained.
I was sports entertained.
Yeah, for most of them. But I would honestly say like 5, 6, 7, 8 are good movies.
Yeah,
I would
that's
say
true.
they are good movies. 1, 2, 3, and 4, not so much.
They're just okay.
Then I would say Hobbs and Shaw is a good movie.
Well, that's because they realized what demographic they were like when they did Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of teenage boys.
Yeah, it was just a movie. Like,
And then the teenage boys got older, and, you know, they realized that they can't pander to current teenage boys anymore, because that's not what current teenage boys like.
Yeah.
But they don't know what current teenage boys like, but they know what those teenage boys used to like.
exactly.
So they evolved it with the generation that grew up.
And it works for me.
Works for me,
And, you know,
too.
I always see when the 9th one's coming out, they're just like, oh, there's a 9th Fast and the Furious movie. Who's watching these? Nobody asked for it. This is a multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Fast and Furious 7 is in the top 10 movies that made the most
Yeah.
money.
Like, if you don't like it, fine. Like, I get it. Like, this isn't, like, high art.
Yeah,
But just because you don't like it doesn't mean nobody likes it.
that's true. I'm going to tell you, I didn't like this going in, but I came out thinking, yeah, this is pretty rad, guys.
Yeah, I would. And, you know, like we said, Fast 9 is coming out in June. Mm-hmm. And if it is not
Awful.
theater only, or if we're vaccinated by then,
And our theater is open.
yeah,
It's still standing.
then we
God help us.
right. Then we will absolutely go and see it, and we will absolutely do a video for you guys.
Yes, we will go. We will see it. We will come back, and we will fire up the mic.
I think like eventually we'll do it like when it comes out on Blu-ray or streaming or just because like we gotta finish it, man. So
Well, there's also 9 and 10, right?
Yeah. So look down the line. Occasionally when we do series like this that are still technically going, when a new movie comes out, we'll watch them and we'll
Yeah.
do like where are they now episodes.
Like, we'll do a previously on segment for you guys, so you know where the heck we stand
Yeah.
in the lore, because I'm guessing that somehow we're keeping better track of the lore
Than they are.
than the people actually being paid to keep track of the lore.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's where we are. This closes the book on the Fast franchise for us right now.
Just for now.
Until at least June.
Until there's Hobbs and Shaw 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Till Fast 9 and Fast 10. And then I assume the spin-off that's just Mia's adventures in Fast and Furious.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
They will not let this animal die. They will find a way to keep...
I imagine there'll be a spin-off.
Yeah,
We can't
they'll-
keep The Rock down.
No.
But yeah, so that is the end of us and Fast and the Furious.
For now.
So the question is, where do we go from here?
Can I tell him?
Do you want to tell them, or should we just play the clip?
Play the clip!
You're all here because you're the best of the best, and we're looking for one of you.
Hey. What's up?
I want to get some coffee. You want some coffee?
No, thank you. I'm fine.
Right on, fellas. You guys get along all right?
All right, I'm in.
From now on, you will have no identifying marks of any kind. You are no longer part of the system. We are the men in black.
You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
It's Men in Black, guys!
It's Men in Black, the Barry Sonnenfeld quadrilogy, excuse me. I forget there's a fourth one. One of my favorite movies as a kid was Men in Black.
Yeah. I have fond memories of scaring people in grocery stores with Men in Black.
Men in Black 1 is one of my favorite movies of all time. Men in Black 2 was the first time I realized the movie could be bad.
Is it?
I watched it in theater.
Yeah?
And it was the first time I left the theater disappointed.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't Terminator Genesis?
Well, that was much, much later. So, we are going to do Men in Black 1, 2, 3, and International.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch those with us, Men in Black 1 is going to start next week. We're going to do, it's a bit of a shorter series. And then I don't know if we'll pick up a longer one afterwards or what it is.
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, so we're going to do Men in Black. Here comes the Men in Black Galaxy Defenders.
So, fun times, guys.
So yeah, if that's all we got left, if you want to keep in touch with us, you can follow me on Twitter at EmptySquare, EmptySquare, cutes.
I'm at Aquadia_. Let's talk about shirtless Samoan men, guys.
What up?
And real quick, we've noticed that our follower account and our view count have gone up real fast. And I would like to just say to all our new friends, welcome to the club. We appreciate all of you.
Yeah.
We love all of you. Welcome. Let's talk about movies. I love you all.
I don't know what happened. I'm not complaining. But Fast and Furious 7 has like 25,000 views. We gained over 200 subscribers in like 2 weeks. That's incredible.
And I love each and every one of you. You are great, and I hope nothing for the best. I hope you guys are safe out there. And come, say hi, leave a comment, leave a rating. It helps us out so we know we're doing a good job. Or you can come and, just leave random nonsense. We're okay with it. Whatever feedback you got, we want to hear it.
You don't got to do nothing. But yeah, if you just want to watch along, that is great. We love you all the same. It's been an awesome couple of months so far. So hopefully you guys want to stick around with us for a little bit longer.
Yeah, come on the Men in Black train with us.
Yeah, come on the Men in Black train, and we'll see what happens. If you're so inclined, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, and you're like, golly, I sure wish I had you in my pocket. Then we are on Spotify, link in the doobly-doo. If you just go ahead and click the link tree in our bio, that tells you everywhere we are. And if you are, if you got money burning a hole in your pocket, and you just want to throw it at people who talk about movies, we are on Patreon.
Yeah, come join the party. It'll be fun.
Yeah, patreon.com/EmptySquare, EmptySquare. Any amount of money gets you stuff.
Yeah, you'll get all sorts of fun stuff. Bloopers that didn't make the cut.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm really tired and I try to do the opening instead of him and I blow it every time, guys.
Go ahead. What's Welcome to Binging with Badness, the only podcast that
makes bread, makes it teat, guys. I already fucked it up.
Makes bread.
Makes fat bread. I don't know.
It's not easy, is it?
It's not, and I mess it up every time, and you can come and laugh at how much I fail at this.
There are certain times where I don't know what I'm going to say until I say it.
You're way better at this than I am.
Especially, when I do... some of those, the only podcast that blanks, I have, pre-written. And occasionally, I'll just get into the mic, and I'll look to you, and I'll go, I don't know what to say.
I can't help you. I can't even say one that I've already said before.
Yeah. And so far, we are on episode 41, 42. I don't think I've repeated a single one yet. So.
Are we up that many episodes?
Yeah.
Are we really? Oh.
Because we did 31 of Hallmark episodes.
Oh, yeah.
And then we did, this will be 9 Fast and Furious.
Oh, yeah, all right.
So I haven't repeated a single one yet, and I'm happy about that. You know what? If you guys have, a line like that you want read, throw it in the comments. I'll pick my favorites.
Yeah.
Hit me up on Twitter. Hashtag binging with badness.
Why not?
Why not? And we'll, not to be confused with binging with Babish.
Yeah, don't send it to the cooking guy, guys.
Have your lawyers call my people, Andrew. No. So yeah, if you want, I talked about the Patreon. I talked about Twitter. I talked about shouting out our new fans.
Yeah.
New series coming up next week. And I think that's it.
We love all of you. We hope you stay safe out there.
Yeah.
I hope you had a lot of fun on the Fast and Furious train.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was a literal train.
And sometimes it was a little train. And until next week, we will see you guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Okay. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We love you. Bye-bye.